Hello. On your test next week, you're going to be working with exponents, squares, and cubes. And so if we look at this um, expression right here, this is read 1 to the second power or 1 squared. So when you look at this part of the expression right here, it is read 1 to the second power or 1 squared. So why is it called 1 squared? Well, if I look at this picture here, and I have a 1 here and a 1 here, those are the dimensions of that square. And so a shortcut way, a fancy way of saying to the second power is squared. And so what does that mean? Well, if I was going to be finding the area of this figure, I would do 1 times 1. And 1 times 1, of course, is 1. So that's why we say that 1 to the second power equals 1. Okay, draw the second figure in your notebook. And the second figure says 2, we read that, 2 to the second power, or 2 squared. And 2 squared equals 4, or 2 to the second power equals 4. Because what this means is I'm going to write this 2 here, and I'm going to write it 2 times because it is for the base and the height of that square. So 2 times 2, of course, is 4. And if we were asked for the area of this figure, we would say the area of this figure is 4. All right. The third example, I think you know where I'm going with this, is 3 to the second power, or 3 squared. It is 3 squared because this side of the figure measures 3 and this side of the figure measures 3. If I'm thinking about the area, I would draw 3 on this side and 3 on this side, and this array gives me an area of 9. So the area of this figure is 9 square units. Okay. Finally, 4 to the second power means 4 on that side and 4 on that side. So this expression, 4 to the second power, actually means 4 times 4. And 4 times 4, of course, is 16. All right, so let's go a little bit further. So supposing I have a figure, and that figure, I say, is a square whose sides each measure 5. Well, that square is 5 times 5, or 25 square units. I could write this using exponents as 5, because that's the length of the side, to the second power, because the second power means that I'm going to have 2 5s, and I could also say 5 squared. So if I put this 25 inside of here, I know that it was a square, and the 2 numbers that I used to get there have to match because it's a square. So if I had something times something equals 25, I need to think about what twins could I multiply together to get 25? Well, the twins that will give me 25 are 5 and 5. So draw this on your paper. And this square has a 16 in the middle. So I'm thinking about what twins could I multiply together to get 16? What is the side length of my square? So what times what equals 16? Well, I know that that's going to be 4 times 4. So if I drew 4 lines here and 4 lines here, sure enough, my area is 16 square units. All right, so here is an example. 5 to the second power, or 5 squared, equals 25. Because this side measures 5, and this side measures 5. So this side is 6 and this side is 6, which means the area inside is 36. So if I have a 49 in here, what and what that are twins would have to go on those sides? Well, 49 is 7 times 7, or 7 to the second power. So the side length would be 7. If I have a 64 in here, what is the side length of that figure? Well, what are the twins? What times what equals 64? Well, the thing that equals 64 is 8 times 8. So I have some squares, and my first square has an area of 25. What is the side length? Well, 25 equals 5 times what? What times what is 25? I gave you the answer. I always do that. So it's going to be 5. The side length is 5. Okay, let's say I had a square who had an area of 100. What times what equals 100? And they have to be twins. So what is the side length of a figure who has an area of 100? Okay, that has to be 10. So the side length would be 10. Okay, so go through and see if you can't write down what these answers are real quick. Pause the video and I'll fill them in for you. Make sure you got them right. Okay, hopefully you got all of these right. Remember, I got these answers by remembering that I'm going to take 2 7s. So 7 times 7, 8 times 8, 9 times 9, 10 times 10, 11 times 11, and so forth. All right, so here's a question. It says, what is the area of a right square whose side is 7 inches? Since this is a square, each side will be 7 inches. So 7 times 7 equals 49 inches squared. Okay, please do this one. Pause the video. Okay, hopefully you got that correct. All right, please do these two. Pause your video. Notice that when I wrote my answers, I've got the exponent of 2 on here. That means squared. So this is read 81 inches squared. This is read 100 inches squared. All right, go ahead and do this one. Pause the video. You should have gotten 121 inches squared. All right, now we've got to the third power. So if to the second power means take this and multiply it by itself, to the third power just means we're going to have triplets now. We've got 3 factors. So they've taken the 1, and then they've done 1 to the second power, which is 1. So 1 to the third power means 1 times 1 times 1, or 1. 2 to the third power means 2 times 2 times 2. Well, 2 to the second power is 4. Whoopsie, sorry. So this is 2 times 4, or 8. So 2 to the third power equals 8 because 2 times 2 times 2. All right, so exponents, you can have this number down here is called the base. It tells you what your repeated factor is. This number up here is your exponent. So, of course, there's a song. And it's actually a song, it's a cheer, and it goes like this. 1, 4, 9, 16 square numbers can be seen by looking at their factor pairs if they match their products or squares. 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4. Come on now, let's do some more. 5 times 5 is 25, 6 times 6 is 36. Factors have to be twins to be square. One is called a root, so beware. All right, so one more time. 1, 4, 9, 16. Square numbers can be seen by looking at their factor pairs if they match their products or squares. 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4. Come on now, let's do some more. 5 times 5 is 25. 6 times 6 is 36. Factors have to be twins to be square. 1 is called a root, so beware. All right, so please make sure you've got this copied in your notebook and then do the IXL that I have for you to practice. Thank you.